So imagine a new business model where it combines retail and wholesale. It exists for a while, but now it exists in Europe for the first time in Paris. I have with me today the CEO of this big venture called LabelVie. He's Brahim Lemseffer.
Fire is better than it's Lemseffer, but you can say Lemseffer is even better. It makes.
He's Brahim Lemseffer, and he's here with me to talk about this new concept that apparently can be the future. Let's go to the interview. Here's Paula Macaggi, and this is episode 46 of my show. Welcome to OFFBounds. It's a pleasure to be here in Paris. Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure, Paula. Thanks to be here.
So I want to explain to our audience what you're doing here because it's something very unique. So why don't you explain to us what LabelVie is?
LabelVie is a Moroccan company, retail company, operating in hypermarket and supermarket sector. It's a company founded in 1986. And expanding in those sectors first with supermarkets and hypermarkets afterwards. Also expanding in sectors of fashion, distribution, food retail also, and in medical products also, distribution. So LabelVie is growing quite fastly. Today, LabelVie is present in Morocco, the headquarters, and then present since 2011 in Ivory Coast also, and now in France for the third country of LabelVie, in France. So LabelVie in Morocco is around 250 hypermarkets, supermarkets, and convenience stores. In Morocco, LabelVie opens around 40 to 50 stores a year, so very dynamic group. In Ivory Coast, LabelVie holds more than 120 supermarkets dealing with wholesale and retail, classical retail also. In France, we're talking about 5 hypermarkets plus an Atacadão, which is the star of our project in France, the love of this Brazilian concept. And the strategy of LabelVie is to continue expanding in Morocco, in Ivory Coast, and in France lately, before going abroad in Europe, and why not in other continents also. So a very dynamic group. It has been introduced in the stock markets place in Casablanca in Morocco, and still getting new projects abroad with malls also. Where we have like a real estate subsidiary that holds investments in real estate in Morocco and maybe in other countries.
That's new information that I didn't have before. Very interesting.
I just got it. True.
So you are the first African retailer that comes to the show.
We can say the first African, maybe, but South Africa. I don't have the figures for South Africa, but we might be among the first in Africa.
Very good. And well, I went today, so for people that don't know that yet, today we spent the day at a store. That's Atacadão, which is the first cash and carry, I wouldn't say brand that got here, but the first time that a Brazilian style cash and carry arrived in Paris.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the first one we could say in Europe because it's not a classical cash and carry. It's an hybrid model between hypermarket and cash and carry. In fact, Atacadão is open to professionals and final consumer. Atacadão is very specific also in the range of products it proposes. It's very strong in food products and with sharp cuts on offers on non-edible foods. In fact, Atacadão is more a wholesaler than a retailer. The spirit, the way of being of Atacadão is to look for the bargain and to offer it every day to the customer. So it's a really unique concept. It's a galaxy. It's a magic galaxy for us in France, but also in Morocco when we convert it, because we are holding it in Morocco also. It's a way of being in the way that the traders and the managers are always in touch with the market, with customers, with partners, with suppliers, so that they, at the same time, they provide unique offers on a wide range of food, mainly. We always have on non-edible foods some slash price offers, but which are in and out mode. And so it's more traffic products on non-edible foods, but very, very strong on, say, FMCG. And today, this way of doing commerce, for me, it does not really exist in France.
So just like to get a bit more of background. So me as a consumer, I can just go and buy one unique item in this store.
Exactly. You can buy one unique item in the store. You can find big formats and small formats. And you can also buy 3 items, 6 items, and can get cheaper. You can get more for less, let's say. You can get it cheaper if you buy 3 units. You can get even cheaper if you get maybe 10 boxes. And you can get it even cheaper if you get 1 pallet. So you might be professional, you might be just organizing a celebration or something and have the best price in France, let's say, because we have the bargains everywhere in France. In Europe also, we're dealing with wholesalers, we're dealing with suppliers, we're dealing with our partner Carrefour and his warehouses. So we are every day giving the best opportunity to customers. Either they are professionals or final consumers like you or me.
So like I'm curious because Atacadão, the name Atacadão, it's something very Portuguese, right? Like it came from Brazil. That's what this business model was inspired. And then the company brought it to Morocco. How did it perform?
Exactly. In fact, it's a Brazilian firm created in 1960s. And that was bought by Carrefour Group in 2007. And Carrefour accelerated the development of the brand and at the same time protected the way of doing commerce and the spirit of wholesaling. So as we were growing in Morocco, LabelVie was growing in Morocco, we had the opportunity to make an acquisition of the stores of Metro, which is a classical international cash and carry brand. And we were asking ourselves, what would be the best model in Morocco? Knowing that in Morocco, bargaining is something almost cultural. So
negotiating,
asking for a better price, asking for the offer. Many people need it and some people love it, even if they don't need it. It's something really cultural. So we started with this, let's say, crazy adventure with our partner Carrefour. And we started with 7 stores, hyper cash and carries. We adapted, it took like 2 or 3 years to adapt the concept to make it simple as Atacadão in Brazil is doing it. We had like concept doses and we were in Brazil many times to understand how to make it simple, because not always easy to make it simple. And
it's actually the hardest.
It's the hardest. You have to repeat the same thing, like sports, like in piano, in music. You have to repeat it many times to make it simple and to deliver with simplicity and simple process, but efficient process also. And that was maybe the hardest part of the story. Once you get it, it's incredible. You're on a highway of results and deliveries.
What is that you had to make it simple? Because it seems pretty simple to me. Put the products there. If you buy in large quantities, you get a discount. But how was that for the consumers? What was the process to make it simple?
Exactly. Today, commerce in retail, biggest brands, is complex, more and more complex. The more the customer asks for products, the more we deliver, the more we offer a wide range of products. We can easily go to an hypermarket in France or even in Morocco and find maybe 20 brands of pasta. Sometimes you don't even, as a customer, need that many choices. In Atacadão, they say, okay, I will be sure that I will provide 3 or 4 brands, but every single item is an exclusive offer. And every day, it's an everyday exclusive offer because we won't follow all the demands. We try to transform the customer-centric offer to a buyer's offer because every product is a profit center, but at the same time, every product is has the cheapest offer in Atacadão. And that means that the trader that negotiates every day with his partners is linked every day and connected to the market. He's in the store, the traders are in the store, and they're talking to customers. So once they get the cheapest price, they work very well. But discontinuity can happen. That's also another way of seeing commerce. Discontinuity can happen in a label, in a brand. You can offer a brand of pasta which is the best bargain ever, and then you realize that 2 weeks after you don't have this bargain, then you don't have this offer. So you have to change by another, make an in-out and change with another brand of the same pasta with same quality.
So that you can the buyer's power to get that deal at that time.
Exactly.
And the customers understand that. How was that in Morocco?
So in Morocco, the customers, you have 2 main categories, professionals and consumers. You have first professional, which are the heart of the wholesale activity. The professionals, when you are in HoReCa, hotels, coffees and restaurants, they transform the products mainly, apart from some drinks. So they just need quality. They don't care about the brand, in fact. If you can prove that the quality is good, they buy.
To add value with the service and then...
Exactly. And we have in Morocco, and not even in Morocco, but a quote that says, all the benefits are in the buying act. We earn when we buy. So when they can have the bargain and the offer of the week, they take it. Of course, quality should be the quality they were expecting. So Atacadão went naturally in Morocco because this commerce, the type of commerce of bargaining, which is the old commerce like it was before, was quite natural in Morocco and worked quite quickly. Of course,
people embraced it, like, oh yeah, I'm ready to bargain with my everyday.
Imagine a family or a professional entering in a store and negotiating its own bargain, its own offer, its own price. It's something magic. You know, you just call the manager, store manager, and say, hey, I see 2 prices. I see a good price if I buy 1 unit. I say, very good price buying 1 case, 1 box, but I want 5 pallets. I want 1,000 boxes. What price would you do to me? So the store manager will negotiate with him, will take information on his activity, and then try to make it profitable. The trader is behind, is providing rules to the store manager, and the store manager is free to offer the price.
Have the autonomy to gain that.
And that's the secret, exactly, is to keep the autonomy with customers. And the store manager will deliver for you your own and unique offer you can get, and the best one. So you are doing your shopping with your price, which is the best because it's not the one displayed. You make volumes. It's quite efficient because what I didn't say is that our range is 5 times less than a range in hypermarket. Doesn't mean we don't have all the food categories. It just means that we have less choice within the categories. And that's...
Instead of having 50 brands of pasta, you have...
You will have 8 maybe, or 9 with premium one, whole weight one, big format, small format, and then you work with that and you should satisfy most of your customers. And I was also talking about the second category, which is final consumer. Final consumer, now after these 15 or 20 years of low inflation, Morocco has known a big inflation that was known also and lived in Europe. It was quite hard, maybe all over the world, but mostly...
Everybody's suffering.
Everybody's
still suffering, right?
Suffering, and salaries and incomes didn't go at the same way, including in France. So in France also, people more than ever need price. So it worked in Morocco. It made customers happy. It's really getting very spectacular development. We were having 7 stores. Now we have 16, and we are opening 6 new Atacadão every year. So it's a real success, and it's even more profitable than a hypermarket with cheaper prices. It's
why?
Why? Because you have a way of negotiating products that is unique. Once you provide a cheap price, you make volumes. When you make volumes, you make...
Yeah, but instead of selling
incomes.
5, you're selling 100.
Instead of selling...
For a lower margin.
Exactly. With lower rate, you can have bigger value. The idea is to focus on the value, not on the rate. When you have margin on a bargain, you should have the best offer. If you really have the best offer, you have the proof of it. You make volume. Once you make volume, you make value. And every single offer we have in Atacadao is profit center, as I said. So it's cheap and it's profitable. And it's always about providing value to customer.
And I think there's a logistical factor there too, right? Like if small businesses are coming to you, you don't have to go to them. So like you have already this fee that is not attributed to each product.
Exactly. Beyond this fee, because the discount you provide to your customers, today Atacadao in Morocco is like more than 10% cheaper in a market which is mostly informal. In France, we are just started, and we can already see that we are 10 to 15% cheaper than the cheapest chain of and brand of hypermarkets in France, at least in the region where we are. So it's really spectacular. And once you make the right threshold in your selling price, you have an impact in volume that is immediate. So our traders now are really having this DNA of wholesaler to put the right threshold to impact in terms of volume. As soon as you have the impact, you have the value, you have the profitability. And the profitability is made with 5 times less in SKUs, as I said, than a hypermarket. In France, if I come back to France or even in Morocco, the same area as Atacadao, which is around 10,000 square meters, provide to customers 50,000 SKUs. In Atacadão, you have 10,000 SKUs. But each SKU is justifying its position. For instance, a shampoo. You can go to a L'Oreal shampoo, let's say, Lemseffer from L'Oreal. You have the blue one, the red one, the green one, the black one. But in Atacadão, you'll find maybe 2, 3, or 4 perfumes or SKUs. Not all of them, because each one must have the best price. And of course, the customer, the final consumer, may not find the color he wants or the product he wants, but he will always find a substitute with the same quality, with the same specifications, and so on.
I think like so the business model then is having less SKUs, the lowest price possible, selling in high quantities without having the logistic cost to bring that to.
Exactly. It's
B2B and B2C. So
it's really something incredible, and you have to do it simple. So that's the whole
and do all these complex
secret
things simply.
Exactly. Doing simple. That's why I said we must be focused on having a buying-centric position. And you cannot respond and offer all the needs that the customer asks. That's a difficult thing, of course. But as soon as you are sure of your price, people come. Of course, in pasta, where we don't have the right to say, I don't have a bargain in pasta. You must have at least a choice of 4-5 types of pasta. But 12, 20, no. You're even obliged to concentrate volumes. And one of the main factors of Atacadao is intensive buying. With intensive buying, you concentrate volumes and you get price. It's quite simple to understand. That's why the execution of all that, if you're not really focused on the strategy of the DNA, you just begin with 5 brands and 3 months later you have 25 brands because all the suppliers...
You have to stick to the vision. You have to be inherent to what the business model is.
Totally. And that's the secret of the model. You must stick to the strategy of intensive buying.
It's phenomenal. And I'm a proud Brazilian. It works very well in Brazil. It's responsible, like this business model is responsible for most sales nowadays, if you think about the grocery market there in Brazil. It worked pretty well in Morocco.
Yeah.
Is France ready?
Is France ready? That's a very good question. And as I said, I am sure that now the window we have after the inflation made France more loyal to price. France has always been loyal to brands. Now we are seeing a transformation of the consumption, shopping also. People are shopping and demanding more price than before. That's why we think that France today needs price more than ever. France also, we have a very large social scale in terms of potential of buying specific expression, but people need more big formats because in the suburbs we have lots of popular and communitary villages, places, areas, and these populations need price. Other kind of population that love price, as I said, don't need price, but are with this inflation coming, are questioning themselves. Do I get the best offer? Am I buying from an operator that is too expensive? And then even the A category, let's say, A category is coming and buying in Atacadao because they love having the best opportunity. We have also this strategy of non-edible food where the products in in-out mode have prices which are completely slashed. We have like limited stock of, we can say, microwave. We can have 50% discount. We can have 60% discount, but with a limited quantity. We can
we have 50 items.
Exactly.
After that, like, we won't have anymore.
Exactly. You have this, and the impact comes instantly. We believe also that Atacadao can be trendy. And we have like TikTok offers with the pink stuff, for instance, for cleaning products. We have the air fryer, which is the revolution.
It's a millennial, like my generation. We have our life crisis. We get into plants, into running, and into air fryer.
Exactly. healthy way of being. Now I run, I don't eat meat, I don't eat. And this is trendy, as I can see, Paula. And this, we believe that Atacadao can be trendy. And in France, adapt, because the real challenge is to adapt.
I was going to ask, one thing is Morocco, used to bargaining, used to getting the best deal. How was getting the Atacadão concept and thinking like, let's bring it to France? What is different about France? What are you adapting?
We are adapting. First, before adapting, we are convinced, as I said, that France is living a really big change in the retail and even in the post-inflation period. People look for price. So once you said that, you're convinced that we should go to France. Then how to make it the French way without losing the principle of Atacadão? So you should first see what are the categories or the subcategories consumed in France. You cannot say, I'm a Brazilian brand, I will bring Brazilian food or Moroccan food because it worked in Morocco. So you keep the principles, the theory of intensive buying, the contact with the customer, the cheap cost everywhere, cutting cost everywhere. As you can see, we don't manipulate, or we manipulate the product at the minimum. We have boxes, we have pallets, and the cost is cheap everywhere, even in cleaning. We have ground which is easy to clean. We have natural, we have domes with natural...
You made it as operationally easy to manage them.
Exactly. Even when you trade, you make direct sourcing without stopping in a warehouse. So most of our negotiations and sourcing are made directly, as you can see with the racks. We can stock within the store. Even in the surface, on the area of selling, we are storing also. That makes us, at the same time, optimize the cost, and also makes to make the ability for traders to buy at the best period. We have commodities where values are fluctuating. Sometimes in oil, for instance, the primary material is very low. So we know that we should buy a lot because then the value will expand, the price will be higher, and then we'll have the stock, we'll have enough stock during 6 months because we bought a lot. Sometimes you can buy in Brazil many factories, not trucks, but factories. You just take all the production of the factory and they say in Brazil, we take all your production. That's just...
Here, where do I sign a check?
That exactly. And that's the best partner for industrial. Industrial live by volumes. They have lines. The lines should turn 25 hours on 24. When you're industrial, you just think volumes first. So when you have Atacadão with a trader that can start a new product, stop a product, pay you, and make an appointment and pay at the right time, and be your partner, you can be sure that the cash will enter quicker. You don't have, as in all the other chains, let's say in the world, 5 or 6 persons, because one is ordering, the other is negotiating, the other is paying, and the category manager is choosing if it's the right time to get your product or not. So it's a nightmare for an industrial. When you get Atacadão, you get one trader that decides for everything.
That does everything. Yeah.
It's just the best partner for Atacadão is the best partner for an industrial.
Fine, but you had to convince all these people when you came to France.
True. So how do you convince
it's not
them?
like, hey, I'm opening another one. They already know. Like you're like coming and, hey, I have a different vision. Has worked in other countries. It will work here. Yeah, I want you to partner with me.
Exactly. First, how to convince them. Even with 5 times less products and SKUs and a hypermarket, to keep all the categories. Fresh food is very strategic in France. French food, of course, we can talk about bread.
Baguettes,
croissants, pain au chocolat, and all exactly. We'll be hungry soon if you continue. We have cheese, for instance. Let's talk about the 2 or 3 top of mind categories. You cannot say I will offer as many reference in cheese in Morocco, in Brazil, and in France. Of course, France has
because here they have a lot more consumption.
Exactly. So first, you should bring the right balance of the offer. You should be consistent in the offer you will provide, and then you should explain to French consumers, French professionals, that even without promotions, we are not seeing commerce as the others, because the others take commodities and make the price cheaper on milk, on oil, and raise the prices everywhere else. They make
like just the key products that people are going to come to buy in the
exactly. All the chains in France are proposing 1 week at least during the month an extra promotion with buy 2 get 1 free. But at the same time, 90% of the products are sold with an expensive price to make the balance. In Atacadao, we are explaining, we have a phase, we are in it now, is to explain that Atacadao is not doing that. It's cheaper every day in all the products within the zone. And this can take time, of course, because first remarks and first complaints, let's say the first day of the consumer, they say, where is my promotion? Where is my loyalty card? We said your promotion is everywhere in your basket. Let's say,
they
take
didn't
one
have something
in
that
your
triggered
cart.
them to think that they were paying.
Exactly. So, but once you said that, you are sure, because we lived that 4 months or 5 months ago when you opened the store. Once you say that, you're sure that the consumer will come back. What we won't get is maybe the consumer that is attached to his brand. But today, as I said, most consumers focus on price. Having a stretch range does not mean we don't have product with no gluten. Doesn't mean we don't have bio products. Doesn't mean we don't have premium products. We do have bio products at the same price as non-bio products. We do have premium brands. If you noticed, we saw Dom Pérignon with more than 25 to 30 euros discount.
The alcohol offers were great. If you want to go for a fancy Christmas, you can get one very affordable.
Exactly. And once you understand that as a consumer, you are sure that you'll come back. Because Atacadão is...
especially because bio products are so expensive, right? They tend to be at least 20% more expensive than other products. So you can get the fair price.
Exactly. So once you get it, you come back. Because we always have, I don't know if you noticed that, the A brand, but you have the B brand with the same quality, but a spectacular price with maybe sometimes 30% discount. And these B brands are for us very important, and for the brand, for the partner, very important, because the B brands have problems in being present and always with space within big chains or big retailers, classical retailer. That way of being or of dealing makes Atacadao very, very attractive. First, with professionals, because professionals understand quickly. They don't need an explanation. They see price. They see efficiency.
They see price, efficiency. They see how much
10,000
they're going to increase their margin.
Exactly. And most grocery we dealt with in the first months assured us that they were earning with us more than 4,000 euros a week, just in a convenience store. So just imagine.
They were buying it from somewhere else, just switching to Atacadão.
Switching to Atacadão, they just earned a benefit of 3,000 to 4,000 in pop and mom stores, just small stores.
Oh, that's huge
for them. Yeah. That's huge for them. And all these categories, as I said, which is the heart of our way of being, is for professional. And then we're open to consumer that need price. But these professionals are really, really faithful from the first time they buy, because they know you just have to give the price, display the price, and they know. And they can have an extra negotiation. That's why we think in France that maybe for the final consumer, there's like an approach where we should explain. But for professional, it's instant. It will work instantly, and it's already.
So you need an extra push for consumers to understand that this concept first exists, and second, that is beneficial for them despite not having a one-day discount, a voucher, or a coupon or something.
Exactly. And this maybe needs an extra time, maybe 1 month or two. We are really assisting now already to a number of transactions that is growing every week. We are, of course, seeing that closely. And it maybe takes more time, but professionals is already growing faster. We are having.
And is there a word of mouth?
Yeah, in professional world, yes. The word of mouth.
Each person brings 10 others.
Exactly. That works in professional with professionals, and works also in communities. Atacadão is, as I said, tries to be trendy every day with TikTok products. Try to be open to communities also every day, because we have products from all over the world. We have Asian foods, we have American food, we have Mexican food. Italian food is French food already, because in Italy, Italian food, we're consuming a lot of pasta, and in France.
Some Italians won't like to hear that, but yeah.
No, but it's real. It's true. I don't know, because but it's true. Italian food is already French, in the habits of French consumption. So we can bring to all the communities consistent offer and cheap price. And when I see Asian restaurants buying rice, buying sauce and so on, it means that we are consistent. These professionals generally buy from community grocery stores or wholesale stores. They don't buy elsewhere. And having a brand, an independent brand, which is not Korean, it's a global brand, it's very interesting to propose all that offer with finally 5 times less offer than a hypermarket. That's also something incredible.
But it makes me wonder,
Mm-hmm.
how is that different from Macro or Costco? And because Costco has tried to be here, right? Like how is that different?
Is very different first because Costco is not free. No access to Costco, you need a card and you need to pay for it. That's the first problem.
That's a friction. That's like for you to get in, you have to be part of the club that costs money.
To me, when you start by that, you put a first barrier. Doesn't mean you won't work, but it's a first barrier for families or final consumer that considers that why do I have to pay to enter in a store? And then Costco has an offer that stays interesting in big formats, but quite expensive in small formats. Atacadão is dealing with retailers, mom and pop stores, so is proposing the unit with the right format for the consumer, and also the big format for the professionals. So finally, the consumer can choose between the big formats. We saw 5 kilos pasta again together.
If you have a big family.
Or 20 kilo rice pack, you can see it's a lot for me, but you can say, no, for my 4 kids, and it's enough, it's good for me.
And I think like for the suppliers, it was also interesting to see Atacadão coming, right? Like I'm sure like they had like this small portion that they will sell, and then they suddenly have a different partner that they can sell double or triple.
Exactly. For let's say industrials, they are obsessed by volumes. And Atacadão is the solution for them to have volumes quickly, to get paid quickly, and to deliver quickly. If they have some overstocks, please call Atacadao. You have one person that will impact and deliver. If you want to go to another chain, I won't name it, but it's all the chain. You have to go to category manager, to the buyer. The buyer should ask the supply. The supply should see if the stocks are enough, because you shouldn't pass over a level of stock in Atacadao. If you have an offer that will be cheap during 6 months, you buy it. You buy it. Once you buy it, you're the best in the place, let's say, with price.
That is the process that you made simple.
Exactly. The process is simple. And
the membership that you have to pay, so you already don't have this barrier.
Exactly.
And the process is pretty simple. You call it, you got it.
Exactly. And that, as you said, is stronger than the lack of transport service or something. And we're working on a service, a third-party service, to transport the stocks to the store of our customers, professional customers. So this matter of transportation is not very, very
I know that in Brazil is big because the logistics there is complicated.
Yeah, so in France, maybe less than in Brazil. So our model is, that's why maybe we have multifactorial reasons, but we're sure that even in France, which is in Western Europe, maybe the country that has a consumer that is faithful more to the brand, that was at least faithful more to the brand than to the price. We are seeing and being the first accompanying this change. We are going with this change to be the first proposing an everyday low price in hypermarket. And the strange thing that happened in Brazil 10 years ago is that the hybrid format of Atacadão, called Atacarejo.
Atacarejo.
The Atacarejo.
It's wholesale with retail.
Exactly.
Like I've talked about it in another episode, but it's the...
Yeah, and the mix of wholesale and retail. I think there are more than 10 strong brands of Atacarejo. And Atacarejo is the first leader in number of transactions before the hypermarket. So in Brazil now, nationally speaking, there's more transaction in an Atacarejo than in an hypermarket. All brands globally. It's something incredible. How did it move to Atacarejo?
So we may be seeing the beginning of a global switch to this model.
In Brazil, it's already between 8 and 10 years ago it occurred. So today, Atacarejo is clearly the leader in number of customers nationally in Brazil.
But let's talk about boldness. Like, imagine someone that has a successful business in Morocco, a super different business model compared to anything that Europe has seen. And then you decide, yes, I'm going to open in France. This is like a big risk.
It was like a crazy decision for many people. Moroccan.
Are you the crazy guy? People call it like.
I think the group has always, LabelVie has always had this flair of and this risk. Of course, if you don't get don't want the risk, you won't succeed. So the group has always had this flair to buy stores, to expand, to innovate, to propose something new, which is, in fact, for Atacadao, the first way of doing commerce, negotiating, is also, in a way, saying, in Europe, we don't negotiate anymore. It's a way of, it's maybe a bit, it's an image, let's say, but
we just say the price, you pay, and that's it. If you don't like the price,
today,
you don't pay.
You scan, you pay, you scan, or you take the order. It's the conditions of selling. You can just read it. If you're happy, you do it. If you don't get it. In Morocco, in Brazil, we saw that the way of doing commerce, the real one, the old one, is the innovation right now in Europe. And we lived that with many of the B brands you saw. The A brands, we have the chance that Brazil has a successful story with Procter, with big brands. So they know that Atacadao can be a very, very good channel to have new customers,
the discovery channel.
Exactly. So they're also preparing themselves to provide us specific offer because they know that we won't sell with a false price. We should provide value for them, and value don't come only from a price. It comes also from volume. And this, for the B brands, it's wonderful because they have quick access to the stores. For the A brands, they see, and then with one or two success stories, they say, okay, I see, I know now. First, it was difficult in Brazil, difficult in Morocco. In France now, it's not as simple as with B brands, but they have two success stories in a big country, which is Brazil. It's a continent of Brazil. It's in terms of volume and potential is incredible. And Morocco is smaller, but they have two examples of success story. And Morocco has like many exclusive products with Procter, for instance. And then it makes it easier in France. So for the industrial, it's wonderful. It's efficacy. Atacadao is efficacy, is money, is volume. Today, when you deal with a retailer, you have to wake up early, as we say, and have 10 meetings and then wait for some weeks and months to have a decision. In Atacadao, you decide in a coffee break, you decide a Sunday morning negotiating, you decide with one person and you go. If the one, let's say, screws the trader once, shame on him. But if it screws it twice, shame on the trader. The trader won't get it twice. And the business and trading is quite easy. If you have confidence in your partner, you go with him. Or for one trip, or for a life, or a story.
But it's still a bold move that I'm enjoying to see. And if that's the beginning of a completely change on how we consume goods in the world, I'm loving to see that someone has pioneered it. So congrats.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It comes from your country. So we're happy for that.
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the gentleman who founded it?
The name Farid Kouri is one of the founder of Atacadao. It's a Brazilian founder. There were three or four of them. And I have the chance to know one of the CEOs or ex-CEOs of Atacadão Brazil that lived this story from the beginning.
We were talking about this book today. I was talking about a Walmart book that I read. There's one passage that I even posted on my LinkedIn. Somebody commented on it, like in a podcast that I was part of last week. He says that there are two types of retailers. The ones that are very operational, the ones that are very merchandise-driven. And the ones that are merchandise-driven can always improve operations, but the ones that are totally on operations, not so sure that they can get into the merchandising. Do you consider you the company, more merchandise or operational? Because
good question. Do I have 2 hours to find the answer? In fact, we are driven by efficiency and operations, but keeping in mind that we should propose all the categories to the customers. Our merchandising is more about price than subcategories, ordering the items by whole lines, as you saw. We don't consider products as whole lines of products. One SKU deserves its function, its place in Atacadão. So our merchandising is important, but very different from retailer, classical retailer. So you will find different type of shampoos, but you'll never find a whole line of shampoos unless it's really the best deal at the moment. So our merchandising is we don't sell history, or let's say, the story of each product or brand. We are efficient and selling product unit need, as we say in French, to customers. If we have shampoo for and dry hair, we will have 2-3 brands and they will be together. We won't believe in universe of a brand. We will just be efficient for the customer. You want that kind of shampoo, you will go and choose from 3 shampoos that can fit exactly your need. Our merchandising is important, and as you said, without merchandising, you might have some problems, and we are not just a warehouse; we are also a store. That's magical in our system, is that we are a warehouse, which is a store also. So we are also driven by a consistency in the offer, knowing that we are free in the brands. The 3 shampoos we have in our store may change. The brands will change, but the 3 or 4 products will always be there. That's why our merchandising is quite consistent, but different.
Got it. And you deliver the lowest price.
Exactly. That's the vector, exactly. That's the principle we kept from Brazil and Morocco. Never accept an expensive price. Never. Discontinuing is something new also. Discontinuing the offer. And as you said, you have the Walmart book, but you have the Trader Joe's book also talking about discontinuing the offer. That might be a problem for our consumer that are used into a brand. But once the consumer makes the bargain each time, and once the consumer always have the choice on its unique need, he will buy. Maybe not all of them, but most of them will buy because the quality is there. So Atacadão has a function is to have premium products, democratize, for instance, healthy products, bio products. It's not just the cheapest quality for the cheapest price. That's very important. Atacadão propose middle quality products with A brands and B brands. You can buy the A brands or the B brand. And you have also first quality products that for people that need it. So that's very important.
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone. It's not for only families, large families. It's not for wealthy and premium. It's for all the categories. And that's the power of Atacadão. And that's the magic merchandising we have in Atacadão. So we're driven by costs and operation, but we need that merchandising, which is that specific to make it work and for everyone.
And okay, I think like we all saw that Atacadão is going to be a success, and I'm looking forward to watching it. But now I want to know more from you. You are a very young gentleman, and you are the CEO of all of this. What do you think it's, I wouldn't say the secret, but what is that a leader must have to lead that?
For me, and that's how I try every morning to do, is to keep a human management of human being. I mean, being a leader for me is impulsing energy, is considering people, whatever the layer you are in. So, of course, we arrived in France with no, LabelVie was not known in France. So we had to recruit our people, key people in our stores, because the stores without people are nothing. Without the DNA we impulse on people, Atacadão can't work, because it's all magic in the way we trade, in the way we sell. If we make effort on Coca-Cola, everyone will sell. If we make effort on a B brand, if you don't make the right effort to sell this B brand, if you're not convinced that the quality of this B brand is good, you won't sell it. So, impulsing the energy, reducing the layers in the organization, and also in the way of talking to people is very, 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 very important. And to me, it was the key to that success, to going, expanding hypermarket. Impulsing DNA of Atacadão, we're right in it right now, is being with people, repeating with people, explaining to people. As you know,
to people, you mean the front line?
The front line, but also the trading. The trading, we have people that have experience in negotiation, but not in Atacadão. Atacadão, you are
It's a completely new concept.
exactly, they should buy and sell, and they should have the power of buying and transfer the product with the power of selling. Trader today, classical trader, even in bank sector, they are the professional to buy. They don't sell. They can sell, but they just say, I had the best price ever, I bought very well. And then what do you do with the product? This is a DNA which is very, very specific. So they're at the same time connected with their partners, but also are always connected every day with the store, the managers in the store. So a wholesaler is a brain constituted by a trader, Atacadao trader and Atacadao commercial seller in the store. So they're always in the store. And that's, if you're not with them, if you don't impulse a family state of mind, a family spirit, it will never work. And that's how I try to drive even the hypermarket. We have, because LabelVie, as I said, we have 5 hypermarkets with Carrefour. We try every day to impulse energy, being close to people, giving sense to what they do. We know
so
that
they see the impact their
exactly.
job is made.
And our I think our key for that success is really the way. It might be simple, but it's very, very, very important. The way we are handling and managing and talking to people. It's as simple as that. And people see consideration, or the way you're respecting them, you're giving sense, you're giving time as a treasure. Here, at least in France, but not only in France, in that kind of organization, we have stores of 300 people, 200 people. And if you just go and take your decision alone and make the execution, do
Task after task.
Task after task, it won't work. At least it's not the way we are dealing. So if we don't impulse sense, our model won't work. So I try to keep this energy, to spread the energy, to make the managers work the same way, so that we give sense to people. And even productivity, because we know it's a word in France that is very sensitive, productivity, but we can talk about it and say productivity is not putting a policeman behind everyone. It's giving sense to everyone.
Giving a purpose.
Of course. You come each morning, we told about that. Each morning, if you come with a good salary and you're stressed every day and you don't know why you're doing it, it won't work. If salary is part of your
Purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Everyday purpose. And you're happy with globally every day, I think.
You have nice people to work
And
with. You know that your work is having an impact.
And you're productive because you have the sense. You know why you're doing things. You like people for who you're working.
Yeah, there's nothing like being miserable with people you work with. So it's always good to have that.
For me, it's the main is the consideration of people, respect, main way of doing and key of success.
And this is our last question, unfortunately. We needed 5 hours. What would be your advice to someone that is starting now and wants to become a CEO?
The advice, part of the answer is maybe in the previous question.
But for any field, like what they should do?
The energy every day, impulsing energy in people first. Then having the ability to manage stress. Having the ability to go beyond boundaries. Off-bound, being off-bound, that's the main point. I think if you have the ability, of course, to understand concepts, to understand models, that's a third point. So impulse energy, taking a risk, understanding models and concepts, and having this ability to react, to learn, to get back to
absorb and move on.
Exactly. To being able to absorb and move on. And with these 3 ingredients, I think there's no boundaries. When even when a model, as we are adapting Atacadao now, a part doesn't work, you react instantly. You go, you change, you test. Doesn't work, you retest, you rechange, keeping in mind your principles. But this energy, dynamic way of doing is a key to me to the success. And then if you have your teams behind you impulsing, it multiplies the effect.
Yeah,
and
but
the
then
result.
like you have like the whole process of getting the right team, which is not so easy.
Exactly. That's also a flair we should have, is to have people that are likely to behave like we want to, like we are. And the way of being is very important when recruiting people. The curriculum for me is almost not important. It's really a first step, but the most important is the way of being of the people we're working with, because they integrate a family. And that's the ingredient, the main ingredient, I said, for a CEO to have a team behind him. A CEO alone won't.
So you're looking for teammates that will be also innovative, risk-taking.
Exactly. Innovative and human, and having a human management of people. That's a very, very, very important principle. Once you have this, it will work. One day or another, it will work.
Amazing. So we are 5 months in with Atacadão in Paris. I'm very excited to see how 2025 is going to perform for you, and I'm going to be watching. The name of, I think like I might be the only person in France that can say Atacadão.
Atacadão will make a challenge, and maybe we will ask you to compete. But if you want to win before the challenge, I think
nah, I'm going to win a t-shirt. I heard there's a t-shirt to win.
The t-shirt now. So excellent. So we're also impatient to see this success and invite you again.
Yes,
among us
I'm
in
going to
France.
check in for sure.
In 2025.
I'm going to get a bag of baguettes.
Yeah, baguettes and croissants.
Yeah.
And pink stuff.
And pink stuff.
Be trendy, please. Healthy and trendy.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula. Pleasure.